Okay, now speaking of like gender norms and not fitting them, so so your brain obviously wasn't fitted to sports in those ways. I mean, you just didn't get it. You thought it was boring.
Mhm.
But it's not as if, I mean, there is something about men's brains generally. I don't want to essentialize here too much, but I know that in general, straight and gay men do something similar. Their object is different, like their object of interest is different. So straight men are
Mhm.
interested in sports, gay men are interested in things like perfume, whatever. But there is like a cataloging that goes on, like, and so you're a great example of this, right? Because like perfume the way that I know 1990 Major League Baseball rosters.
This is very true. This is something one of my like female best female friends pointed out to me long ago,
Mm-hmm.
that men have an obsessive like encyclopedic cataloging instinct
That's
with
it.
their hobbies and interests
Mm-hmm.
that women just usually do not have. Like women, you could use this even as a way to say that like women are better than men because
Mm-hmm.
they're less like sentimental about this kind of stuff. But yeah, women will, just get rid of everything, when they get a new boyfriend, just throw away all of their interests. They're really adaptable. That's why they keep winning. They're like the Terminator 2. They just adapt to, and it'll just like they adapted to COVID. Like they're like, oh, this is how it is now.
Yeah,
Um,
look at my cute mask. I got it at the gas.
yeah, and then men are all eternally like No Country for Old Men, like sad, haggard, mourning what once was.
Right. Well, I was thinking, I mean, I would rather be a woman because for many reasons. One of them is that thing. And I have this, I catalog things constantly. So like, what bring up a perfume, the name of a perfume, and Jack will tell you the year it came out, the history of it, what the company was doing at the time, the controversy surrounding it. You'll have, you'll have a whole essay basically ready for every perfume, right? And you have it like you have shelves in your mind, right? With all the
yeah,
perfumes perfectly lined up and alphabetized. And I have that too, with other things, right? Politics is a classic example, right? Where we just know the names and dates of everything, right? That's a very
mm-hmm.
typical male thing, right? But I've got to think that there's like all that stuff is like it's something that's standing between us, our eyes, our ears, our noses, our mouths, and the pleasure itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's the perfume over here and all the pleasure you get from it, and then or the baseball game, right, and all the pleasure you get, and then there's like all this thinking about it and like
Right.
stuffing all of the elements of it into these boxes, and the creation of boxes and the creation of categories, et cetera, right?
Men
And I,
like being experts on things, especially like obscure subjects, and yeah, I guess it could get in the way of the pleasure, but I think the social instincts of women, which makes them adaptable, but also gets us in the current state that we're in when they're given total Caligula like control over political and cultural discourse, that everything has to be done for social approval, conformity, social acceptance, a constantly evolving model of what that is. So that's the most furthest mutated version of this like feminine instinct that also allows them to not be nostalgic about bullshit that doesn't matter. But men just, it's, I don't know, it's something that like makes your day pass. It's I just think about perfume and like movies and stuff all day because working is really boring because I've never had a job. If you have a job that you really like that you can throw yourself into, like my dad has one, he loves it, he loves doing it.
hmm.
um then it's different, but I just am a stupid like Lena Dunham millennial that just ended up in hospitality because I don't have a trust fund or whatever. And then, yeah.